All right, everybody, we'll go ahead and get started. Hope everybody's doing all right out there. Welcome to our Ruckus training webinar. I'm Mark Jane with 21st Century Distributing, and we're happy to have Ashley Buchholz here with Ruckus. Uh, Obviously, Ruckus is one of the industry's top wired and wireless networking solutions for commercial applications. So we're happy to have Ashley here to review the overall Ruckus lineup with us, who Ruckus is, what they can do to help support you in your business. We're going to go over everything from their Wi-Fi 7 and Wi-Fi 6 APs, the Unleashed Management solution for residential small business networks, Smart AV profiles, their switches. So if you have any questions, go ahead and type that into the chat. We're going to have this recorded, and it's going to be on our virtual conference center for you or one of your employees to review after the fact. So again, we're very excited to have Ashley Buchholz here with Ruckus. How you doing, Ashley?
Oh, so good, Mark. I'm so excited to be here today. And thank you so much for allowing me and Ruckus to join you guys today. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, well, let's jump in. I really value and respect all of your time, so I want to start promptly here. But the title of this presentation today is Creating Ruckus with a Purpose. And that is because Ruckus, and I'm very proud to say that we are growing in the industry with purpose. It is demand driven, and it is really, no pun intended, making a ruckus in the industry. So I wanted to kind of take you back a little bit through the history of who Ruckus is. And we started back in 2004 to create that specific need of IPTV streaming and while using Wi-Fi. We wanted to make the Wi-Fi reliable and to effectively support mobility while you're walking through a very large, dense environment. Through several acquisitions, through Eris, Brocade, Foundry, all that stuff, we're now considered one of the big dogs in the industry, no pun intended, here with our parent company, CommScope. Now, we do have a complementary portfolio with our parent company, CommScope, and CommScope is the leading cabling manufacturer in the entire world, so much so that we influence the price of copper every day. And so with a complementary portfolio, we are able to dominate in the industry and get awards after awards and industry recognition. The first industry recognition that I wanted to bring up was our Innovation of the Year Award in 2024, and that was given to us by our Wi-Fi 7 solution. So Ruckus was the first to market with the Wi-Fi 7 indoor access point, and we were recognized through breakthrough innovation, addressing the market challenges with network congestion. We provided significant value to the community in that engineering forward mentality, and with the ease of use and manageability with our Unleashed platform and making sure that there's no network controller associated to that. So that was the Innovation of the Year Award, but we're also very proud to say that we are the enterprise vendor on the test bed of the Wi-Fi Alliance. And what that means is that every device that gets tested to come to market, so say that your iPhone or your laptop or your tablet has to get tested against the Wi-Fi Alliance. And because of our patented technology and our belief in our system, the Wi-Fi Alliance chose us for the third year in a row to test into the Wi-Fi Alliance. So very proud of that myself. And I'm excited to see where the Wi-Fi Alliance takes us next. So with all of this industry recognition and all of the background, we really wanted to innovate with a purpose. And we solve the most challenging use cases in the most unpredictable environments in the industries that we serve. Now, I wanted to touch base on the industries that we do serve because we really dominate in the hospitality and the sled market right now, right? So if you stayed in a Marriott hotel, 80% of their hotels are a Ruckus network, and Hyatt, Hilton, XYZ. We're really growing in the K through 12 and the higher education market, so SLED markets. We have a whole dedicated vertical towards that, but we're really seeing very dense, high capacity environments also take us. So we have a couple large logos in the large venue stadium avenues. So think Dallas Cowboys, think the Oklahoma Thunder that just, you know, won the whole thing. We've got MDU and mixed use cases, so think condos and apartment complexes, and then manufacturing logistics. And I always like to bring up this case study because Ruckus had a solution where we could put Wi-Fi in food freezer storage. So think about, those large US food distributors that have scanners and people doing inventory in their freezers. We are able to provide them with Wi-Fi for their scanners in that environment. And so, like I said, back to purpose, what drove that? And it's basically our customers. And our customers trust us significantly. Like I said, Marriott, AstraZeneca, the United Center, the federal government, San Jose, the whole city, a smart city. I came from the federal side, so I'm very passionate about that. So I've seen some very cool stuff that you probably would want to talk to me about that later. But going back to purpose, we've taken the need and the want from all of those bigger organizations, and now let's put them into the pro audiovisual market. And pro audiovisual to us is the conference centers and the broadcasting and the pro residential market, so home theaters and high capacity Wi-Fi 7 environments. This is very intentional. This is very demand driven. We've heard our customers saying we want Ruckus in the pro AV space. It is very solution oriented, and we really put the quality first in our solution. We'll get to that in a second. So my purpose today is to go through the entire Ruckus portfolio and not just the AV portfolio. So this is our portfolio at a glance. And I'm going to start at the bottom here. So we want to start with our flagship products, our access points. We do have outdoor, indoor, and specialty H series, hospitality series access points. We do have a whole portfolio of access aggregation and core switches. But now that we are purpose driven, we also have a line of AV and pro AV switches. We have a full line of network controllers and management. And we have a slim portfolio of network security and secure onboarding and making sure your whole network is fully aligned together. So let's go into Ruckus Wi-Fi, and wanted to discuss the more than 140 Wi-Fi access points that we have available here today. So our first patented technology is BeamFlex, and I'll get to that in a second, but it delivers stronger signals at longer distance and in challenging RF conditions. Next is our channel fly that automatically finds the least congested channels to optimize overall throughput. Then you have adaptive Wi-Fi cell sizing that receives cell size control. Then we have transient client management, airtime decongestion, network capacity utilization, and AI-driven cloud to complete the full portfolio. Now, what makes Ruckus BeamFlex very beneficial and different in this space is that we can make your Wi-Fi signal more effective towards the client's device. So I want you to think that this clover shape is just like a fluorescent light bulb just going into the entire room. And instead, our Wi-Fi signal acts more like a flashlight towards your client's device. And this is more effective, that it can increase your performance and range, that you can maximize your power efficiency, and that you could generally reduce the number of access points in your environment, reducing the overall total cost of ownership. Our BeamFlex on a Wi-Fi heat map does look a little bit different than any of our competitors. The orange line is our competitors and the black line is our BeamFlex technology, in which you'll see that it kind of follows you around on a packet-to-packet basis. Now, a couple questions that came from the field before is that does this, interfere while you're Wi-Fi roaming and, going from access point to access point? No, it does not. It automatically does that, like I said, on a packet to packet basis, and there's no interference with our beamflex technology. So pretty cool. So we have tested this over and over and over again. And through our Packet 6 report, and which I'll bring up in a second, with 30 different streaming devices, we found that RUCKUS performed the best in that high capacity and high density environment. So it had 100% stall-free videos. It had the highest network throughput, and this was tested third party. So, no bias between any network vendor. So I'm going to bring up the YouTube video here. Now, keep in mind, it's only, 2 minutes long or so. There is no sound to this. You just have to sit and watch. So a single AP delivers stall-free HD videos to 30 clients, and each AP serves 1080p streaming video to 30 Wi-Fi 6 enabled laptops. After 1 minute, you'll see it, and we won't watch the full 3 or 2 minute video. We'll just watch 1 minute and 30 of it. But it was versus RUCKUS, Aruba, Meraki, Extreme, and Mist, and we can see the results proven for themselves.
Hey, Ashley, we can't see the video. Do you have it?
Oh, no.
You might need to share that part of it. Is it on another screen?
It is. Hold on. I'm so sorry, guys.
There we go. See it now.
Apologize, guys. So I'm noticing that the Mist APs went down first. Data introduced, Extreme went down.
Not one RUCKUS.
Not one RUCKUS. And the dog keeps walking. Right, and I see that Aruba and Cisco are keeping up, but there's still, flaggers that are coming down in there. And so, the video goes on and it finishes with just the results. That RUCKUS did not have any stall-free videos. We had the highest throughput and the highest voice mean opinion score. So very nice. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing because I learned today, guys. All right, and let me share again.
Got it. You're a pro.
I'm pro. All right, so that is the Packet 6 report, and I will link that down in the description after the show is over. So that was the short video that we watched, and so now let's go into the ICX switching portfolio. So The ICX switching portfolio includes the ICX 8100, 8200, 7550, 7850 switches, and the AV portfolio, which we'll get to in a second. But from the nomenclature, the 8 series is just the 8th generation, and 1 series, 2 series, or 5 series, it just goes up in capacity or up between access, aggregation, and core. So you can see that 850 is our workhorse core switch. But these are simple, flexible, and scalable, and we only purchase it when you need it and what you need. So you have a full portfolio of PoE or non-PoE or copper switches or fiber switches or SFP plus or higher PoE requirements, or you have a full portfolio of switches that you can mix and match them to. You can expand these switches as needed, and then there's different power and features of the chassis with the flexibility, simplicity, and cost efficiency of the stackables. And so we also have that AV portfolio. I like to call them mullet styles, so business in the front, party in the back. And all that means is just the health and status of the switch of the lights are just on the front and all the ports on the back. So when you put them in unique environments, such as like media rack installations, you don't have to see the network cords and get all messy and have kids pulling on it, all that stuff. Right now, we do have the ICX 24 port video series. That's what that stands for. And the C08, the compact 8-port switches available. This is optimized for popular AV standards such as Crestron, Sonos, Dante, NDI QSys, Just Ed Power, Extron. I mean, if we don't have it, I would greatly appreciate your feedback so that we can put that in our switches. This is the same fast iron switches as the original RUCKUS switch and just put into the AV switches. They do come in 10 and 25 gig stacking, and that's up to 12, in which we'll get to stacking in a second. And they do come out of the box with our Unleashed AV profiles, in which is very cool. Very excited to talk to you about that today. On the roadmap, we do have a few more audiovisual switches coming to market. We have the 8100, which is more like entry level, no stacking, just layer 2, just a switch, level switch coming to market. But we do have the 7550 and 7850 workhorse switches, those aggregation and core level switches, coming to market later this year and into 2026. On the roadmap, we do have SDVoE and AVB licenses on the roadmap. What we're doing is we're just creating that portfolio of network switches before we get into those license and alliances. So what sets RUCKUS apart into our switching portfolio is our stacking capabilities. And a stack is a group of devices that operate as a single local chassis to simplify the management and enhance performance and scalability. And I didn't mean to like verbatim that, but that's the simplest explanation. But think of it as if you have a campus of some sort, so think apartment complex, and you have 3 different apartment buildings, and you'd like to have them on the same network. Well, you have 3 switches in one network, or one building, 3 switches in another, 3 switches in another. That's 3, 6, 9. They can all be connected on the same network because it can go up to 12 high and up to 10 kilometers away. Now, this is not a proprietary cable or anything that you're using. You're just limited by the Ethernet or fiber that you're running between each switch. And if you have more questions on stacking or topology or anything, I would please put them in the chat so that we can have our engineers look at that and answer your questions later. So there are more unique features for RUCKUS, and our smart AV profiles are something new that we, again, purposely drove to the AV market. So we heard our customers saying it takes me 10 hours to configure a network switch with all of these protocols from Crestron and Dante and XYZ. So we have pre-configured and verified that these templates work. All you have to do is copy and paste them into the network port that you want. Now, this is very easy, and if someone non-technical as myself can do this, I think anyone in the market can do that as well. I've seen a success story already that it used to take 10 hours and now it only takes 4 minutes. So that is a really good positive. And you can customize the color of your ports that, so say you only want your video ports to be blue and your audio to be yellow, XYZ, excuse me, you can select and customize those ports as well. This can be done on separate VLANs, so you can do it any way you want. And like I said, if we don't have it in here, I can trust me that we are either working on getting it and or I appreciate the feedback for the purpose. We also have a added on service for a remote management service. Now this is run on our Unleashed platform, but basically our AV integrators are so busy that they don't need to do the truck roll for configuration and things like that. So you can manage your client's network without the truck roll cost. We also enable IoT devices, so your smart lighting, your climate control, your smart door lock. So having that all on the same network is a huge benefit in our environment. So you can reuse your existing infrastructure, and you have that same multi-layered protection between IoT suites, and it really simplified device onboarding. So it's all single pane of glass for your smart blinds, your smart outlets, things like that. There are many other use cases that we can use the RUCKUS platform as well. So thinking about energy management, right? When Marriott has a customer not in the room at the time, they can switch off the heating element and then they walk in and then all of a sudden the heating element turns on. Thinking about staff alerts, connected entry, right? Attendance, roll call, wayfinding, asset tracking. There's a breadth of use cases that we can use to put that all on the same network. So let's go through the RUCKUS controllers real quick. And we have 3 of our primary RUCKUS controllers. RUCKUS Unleashed, which is our controller-less option. So what that means is that our access point acts as the master controller. It is our easiest to manage, and this is meant for small business and residential customers. It can manage up to 128 devices, but we don't recommend that you go that high, but it can do that. Our virtual smart zone is our on-prem cloud-based, so this is ideal for a customer that is sensitive about their data going into the cloud, but it needs a little bit more of a workhorse engine. This is for medium and large size properties, and also for managed service providers that would like to see their customers making sure their network is healthy and that their network is healthy. This is a TAA compliant option if you have a federal customer that needs that. So Virtual Smart Zone does come or has a TAA compliant option. RUCKUS One is our single pane of glass option, and it is cloud-based. It is made for medium and large size customers and for those very large properties. Many managed service providers use this, and there is an AI component to RUCKUS One that we'll get to in a second. So this is what 200.18 of RUCKUS Unleashed looks like. Like I said, this is our controller-less option, where you have a master AP that controls the rest of the unit. This does not have licensing fees associated to it, so this is a very low-cost option for those small and medium-sized businesses. It does include our AV profiles on it, so if you're doing an AV environment like a sports bar or something, this would be ideal for that environment. And it does come with a web browser or app feature with the RUCKUS Unleashed platform. This is what Smart Zone looks like, although there has been a update to the interface. So it is on-prem and cloud-based, and again, medium and large size properties are ideal for this. I, from my personal opinion, I think Smart Zone is the most scalable option where you have a lot more clusters and things that you can see just on the dashboard. And like I said, this is a TAA compliant option if that's what you need. This is the Ruckus One dashboard. Like I said, this is the single pane of glass. There is AI involved, and this is for medium to larger size properties. So what does the AI component do in Ruckus One? Well, it takes your troubleshooting efforts from your network in general, and it takes a very solution-based approach. So think about when you have a controller that went down, not a controller, an AP that went down, and you don't know why. You unplugged it, you plugged it back in, XYZ. Well, your AI on your Ruckus One can go in to the network and it says, oh, I don't have enough PoE budget to that. Or you didn't plug it in. Or you don't have it hooked up right. Or there's not enough. I mean, XYZ, you name the problem, the AI will fix it. So it can reduce the mean time to resolve by, 73%. And yeah, the AI is looking good. So the Ruckus Advantage is not just the wireless access points and switches and network controller, but really we have the network analytics and the secure onboarding and the IoT connectivity as the full portfolio. And what really sets us apart is our performance in high capacity and low latency environments, that it is simple, that a non-technical girl like myself can present the Ruckus platform with Unleashed or R1 and configure a network without any technical experience. We are extremely adaptable and interoperable and vendor agnostic with what APs and network switches we can host on a network. And like I said, interoperable, double dip in there, and then innovative in that we create the Wi-Fi 7 first to market, BeamFlex, 140 different Wi-Fi patents. I mean, that's something to consider. So if you don't have my word today, I would love for you to give us a try. And if you have any questions, my name is Ashley Buchholz, and I look forward to working with 21st in the future and being your customer always.
Thank you, Ashley. Really appreciate it. A couple quick questions we had here. When would a client or one of our dealers use Unleashed versus R1? I mean, would most applications be suitable for Unleashed? Thinking maybe like small business, like residential, and more of the larger projects you get more in the R1. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. So, like I said, Unleashed can manage up to 128 clients, or 128 clients. So, thinking about small businesses, you're probably not going to have that many. I always like to say 50 is a really good number to switch over to R1, because R1, you'll get that AI feature and you'll get that single pane of glass into your network.
And you mentioned this before because we get these questions, but there's no, I guess, licenses associated with Unleashed. I believe you mentioned that as well.
That is correct. So the Unleashed platform is just a specific AP that you'll buy. So the nomenclature is 901 versus 9U for Unleashed 1. And buying that Ruckus Unleashed access point allows you to have all of the features of Unleashed and the AV profiles into that single platform, so that you don't have to have any licensing fees going forward.
Very good. Last one we got. You mentioned the rear-facing switches. Do you know, just, I don't know if you go back, how many by chance you have in your lineup because I mean we're big in a residential home theater, and that's going to be one of our big movers. But how many rear port switches are in your lineup?
Yeah, so let me bring that slide back up just so that we can all go through it together. Thanks for being patient. So currently we have two rear facing ports at the moment. We have that 8-port compact switch and the 24-port option. On the roadmap, though, we do have the 24-port and 8-port 8100 coming out, and then there will be a 48-port coming out later this year and into 2026. So 8, 24, and 48-port options.
Very good. Ashley, thank you so much. Really appreciate your time today. Good. Yeah, we got through it in right over 30 minutes. There's going to be more trainings from Ruckus coming up, more information on them. We now stock the full line in all 7 21st century locations. So definitely make sure to go on our website, check out the Ruckus vendor page. A lot of great information there for you, and reach out to us if you have any questions. Ashley, thanks again for your time today.
Absolutely.